All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for our final PTSA meeting of the school year. It's hard to believe. We started off the school year in the parking lot at Wooten in August, holding an outdoor meeting, our first with video stream, and it went really well. And here we are with our final meeting of the year. Prior to this meeting, we did have a membership only meeting where we went ahead and voted on our minutes for the entire year, as well as our treasurer's reports, uh, our financial review, and also the proposed budget where we reallocated funds on some line items were not used, reallocated funds, and and those votes just took place at a 6:30 pre-meeting. And then I was also voted in for a new 2-year term. So I will be continuing for 2 more years, and looking forward to it. So thanks for that support. Um, Thank you for such a great year. Because we had strong membership this year, we had good participation in mock SAT and ACT testing. We had donations that came, really nice donations that came in during the year. And that gave us the opportunity to do a lot for the school this year. We were able to support a larger number of student and teacher grants. We provided teacher appreciation gifts and meals. We helped support Wooten senior activities. And of course, we did the Holiday Helping Hands program, which was the first one. We ended up raising over $10,000 to support families in need. It was an incredible program, and none of it would have happened without all the our generous community. So thank you all for all that support, and that allowed us to do so many great things. So we appreciate our members. So thank you for being a member of PTA and allowing us the opportunity to do the things we're able to do for Wooten and for our students and our teachers and for our community. We are going to continue to fundraise. So we had started off fundraising about, before 2020, I guess in the school year 2019, 2020, we started fundraising to replace the tarp that is used for the gym floor. It's a protective tarp. It protects the floor during dances and other events, especially homecoming. And it's very old, and it is a lot of work to take out and put down using tape, and it takes a whole lot of people to take up as well. And so we started working on a fundraiser to purchase tiles, interlocking tiles that are easier to put down, don't require tape, and are very protective of the floor and easier to dance on rather than the tarp, which if you saw some of our girls dancing on the tarp with their high heeled shoes, it was, it's a little dangerous with getting caught, their heels caught in the tarp. So it's much smoother with the tile floor. We're very happy that that is our focus, and we're going to continue to fundraise. So we didn't do much in the way of fundraising for that over the course of the past year, but we're looking forward to continuing events for that. So watch for some summer restaurant nights, and as we continue into the fall, we're going to do other fundraising activities. You can buy your school gear at the PTSA Squad Locker store, and all proceeds from purchases will also go towards the fundraiser. And really any fundraising that we do will go towards that fundraiser first until we fulfill our goal. And we estimate that it'll be around $5,000, but we haven't we don't know the exact price just yet. So we're waiting on getting the information for that. And we should have it by the fall, and we'll be able to share it with everybody. So I also want to take the opportunity to thank the executive board members that do so much. Yul, Deepa, Mira, and of course, Nikki, who wears way too many hats to count. So thank you all for all the hard work that you put in. And I also like to thank the PTSA board that has done so much to support PTSA activities all year long, because none of this could happen without great volunteers. And I know that everyone is giving their time, and they're very busy. So but together we're able to really do a lot. So thank you all. National PTA update. I've been letting you all know about what's been going on with the Maryland PTA. And if you didn't know, Maryland PTA has been, their charter's been revoked by National PTA. There's been numerous issues, and National is in the process of setting up a new entity, and they have set up a new entity. The new entity is called Free State. It's called the Free State PTA. And the reason why it's not called Maryland PTA is because the former Maryland PTA is at this point refusing to give up the name. They're refusing to turn over assets and other things that are part of PTA and not that they don't own. It's owned by the members. So while that's being litigated, National needed to move forward, and so they created the Free State PTA. For those that don't know, and I had to look this up myself, Maryland, one of the mottos for Maryland is the Free State. So that's where they came up with the Free State PTA. I didn't know that, but so that entity has been incorporated. They are waiting on nonprofit status through the IRS. That should be coming in the next couple of months. They are working on cease and desist actions with the former Maryland PTA, and that'll continue because they're not allowed to have use of the brand. Some of you may have received an email from the former Maryland PTA, so they're still using the listserv. And it's about a new entity that the former Maryland PTA is creating around a parent-student congress that's not affiliated with the PTA movement at all. So that's going on. At some point over the summer, I believe, there'll be a new bylaws created, some basic ones, and some leadership that will be elected to support the new entity. And meanwhile, our PTA is supported, and our PTA and all of the state PTAs are supported by the National PTA. And for those that don't know, part of your dues are paid to Montgomery County Council of PTAs, the state entity, whatever it will be called, but that's a portion of our dues, and then to National. So we're affiliated. All of you who are members of all of those entities: Montgomery County Council PTAs, the state entity, and also with National. Okay, and then so that's what's going on there. And then, as I mentioned, we can't do anything. We can't do all the PTSA activities without great volunteers, and we're in need of great volunteers to join us for the coming school year. So please consider taking a role in PTA, and it can really be, we have so many different roles. Some don't require a whole lot of time at all. There's all different levels. So depending on the time that you have available, we encourage you to join us. We have 3 positions open on the executive board. We have a treasurer position. We have the corresponding secretary position, which is sort of the VP of communications. They're in charge of all the communications, and there's multiple people that actually would work together to support our social media efforts, our newsletter, which we plan on revamping, the website, and so forth. So we really want to do a really good job of coordinating all of our messaging, and that's what that person would be doing, and they'd be working with multiple people. And then we have our second vice president position. And we do split up the duties, and we all pitch in to help each other as needed as well. So, throughout the year, you may have some months where you have more availability than others, and we all pitch in to help. Some of the board positions that here are all the board positions that are open. We have the MCC PTA Wooten Cluster Coordinator position. We have the Wooten Cluster Representative. Just to go back to the Wooten Cluster Coordinator, so that position is with the Montgomery County Council PTAs. It covers the Wooten Cluster, and we have 9 schools within our cluster. We have 6 elementary, 2 middle, and Wooten. And so we have 3 cluster coordinators as part of MCC PTA. One of those is child is graduating, and so there's an opening. They work together to support our entire cluster. They support testimony in front of the Board of Education, Montgomery County Council, and really support all the efforts that we have across all the PTAs for the cluster. Then we have the Wooten Cluster representative. That person is a representative on the cluster committee. There's a cluster committee of all those 9 PTAs, and they represent Wooten on that. We have the Patriot News Chair. I mentioned that we're looking to revamp the newsletter, and that Patriot News Chair is responsible for sending out those regular messages. The fundraising coordinator to help us coordinate all of our fundraising efforts, student engagement chair, social media coordinator, volunteer coordinator, and parliamentarian. So those are our positions. So please, if you're not interested, please promote it to others in the community that you know. We're hoping that incoming families may be interested in taking a role, and we're going to certainly be sending out messages over the summer to encourage folks to volunteer. But we do appreciate all of our volunteers to help us with all the things that we do all year long. So you'll be hearing from us over the summer about some summer restaurant nights, and now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Nikki for the treasurer's report, treasurer membership report.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Give me just a second here. Okay, so we just went over the budget in the pre-meeting with membership, and so just a brief update on that. The updated budget that was voted in. If we stay on budget for the rest of the year as projected, we would end up with an overage of $7,000 left in our bank account. That doesn't actually include $3,000, which is allocated towards summer spending, which is essentially the gap between the end of our fiscal year and the time when we vote in the new budget in September. So in reality, it's more like $10,000 at the end of the year. So we're in good shape. We did well this year. We brought in a lot of revenues to help cover all of the objectives that we wanted to meet this year. So I think we're in a good spot. Membership is still holding strong. We're at 969 memberships right now, which is down slightly from last year, but given COVID this year, we were really happy with those numbers. Considering we never got to have any in-person events or back to school night where we usually sign up the majority of our membership. So overall, we had a really good year from a membership and a treasury perspective. And just to touch on Brian's point earlier, he was mentioning the Squad Locker store and our fundraiser. And I just looked at the numbers. This year, we raised $504 so far from our Squad Locker store towards the floor. So we're hopeful that sales might be up next year with people in school. You know, seeing kids with the merchandise usually helps other kids want to buy it. But that store will stay open all summer. And I'd also encourage anyone to reach out to me if there's something that you're looking for in the store that you don't see. The way Squad Locker works is there's a huge inventory, a huge catalog that I can choose from to place those items in the store to make them available. So it takes a lot of time to go through and decide on those items. So there are a lot of items there, but there can certainly be more. So if there's something you're looking for in particular and you don't see it, feel free to reach out to me and I can certainly help to get that in there if it's available in the catalog. So that's all I have. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bolden for the principals update.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for this final meeting. I just can't believe we are actually at our final meeting, and we started in the parking lot in August, as Brian mentioned, and now we're wrapping up the year. I want to first and foremost say thank you to the PTSA, to the PTSA board, all of the PTSA members, of course, our PTSA leadership, and all of the parent-student networks that are active and very engaged for this year. It has been a tremendous year, but nonetheless, we felt your support, we benefited from your support, and we appreciate so much this tremendous partnership we have with our PTSA and all of the great things that happened this year. I started to just sort of jot down all the things that we've been engaged in together, and I had to stop because there have just been so many, and it speaks to the level of engagement with our our parents and students and this whole partnership that we have, from the student and teacher grants to all the staff appreciation, going out in yard signs for all of our teachers, to the delicious lunch you gave us over the just a couple weeks ago, to the student engagement from the holiday drive, the t-shirt contest, the screening of screenagers, mock PSAT. You've managed to do that as well. There's just so many pieces that you've been involved in. And then of course, as we're coming up on celebrating our seniors, woohoo, with Unity Day and graduation and caps and gowns, you've been integral to that being successful as well. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you to this organization. Thank you for your compassion and care, and really looking at this as a village and all of us working together to support our students and our whole community. We truly could not do it without you. We wouldn't want to either. So as I think about wrapping up this year, that's exactly what we're doing. We are so excited that the last few weeks affords us an opportunity to really celebrate our seniors, and we really are wanting and feeling that as this year has been strange. And so we have our Unity Day coming up on Saturday. I should mention prior to that, we have our awards ceremony. It is virtual. And so we're putting together a wonderful presentation for our students and families for Thursday, May 20th. And then we have Unity Day on Saturday, May 22nd. And the weather seems hot and wonderful. And we're going to be excited to welcome our seniors on that Saturday. And then the following week is the last week for our seniors. And it's a busy one. We'll be handing out yearbooks. We'll be handing out caps and gowns and getting them all prepped for the main event, graduation, which will take place on Thursday, June 3rd at 9 a.m. at the stadium. I am well aware that things are changing very swiftly in our county regarding masks and social distancing, with the encouraging news, of course, of the numbers reducing in terms of COVID-related illnesses and whatnot. So if we get any updates right now, we're still wearing masks and keeping social distance, and all of those best practices we have are still in play, not only for graduation, but also as students are in the building over the next few weeks. So I just want to keep that in your mind. And of course, if anything should change, you'll certainly hear from MCPS and from us in terms of any changes that we're aware of. And so really our focus over the next few weeks is to continue to serve our students as they are in school, and to continue to work towards our seniors as they're moving on very soon and celebrating them. There is this wonderful space that we're in at the end of the school year where lots of things are settling down and lots of things are starting up all at the same time. So it is definitely an exciting time in our school. And we are working really hard to make sure that we're able to end this year with an exclamation point, particularly for our seniors and transitioning our underclassmen, our freshmen through juniors. And of course, the topic for tonight's meeting, we're going to spend some time, and I'm so excited that two of my colleagues and great people can join us, Ms. Kath Carr, who is our college career information coordinator, and she offers amazing programs for our rising seniors over the summer. And so she's going to spend some time outlining what those are and the partnerships that she forms to really provide some great services to our seniors. And then my buddy, Mr. Roner, who has joined us, and he likes to say he's the new guy, and I'm going to tell him officially he can no longer say that. It's May. But Mr. Roner has come in with great energy and just great excitement for the Wooten community. He's our master scheduler, and he is also in charge of our summer programs. So he's going to talk about all of the other great opportunities that we have for 9th through 11th graders in particular as we move into the summer. And I will just say this, as excited as I am that, students are coming back, and it's so great to see them in this hallways and on the athletics and all the ways we're seeing them. We're starting to get our extracurriculars up and running. So there's a lot of returning to what we'll say is normal. We are very well aware that we're still working through all of the effects of having such a disruption in our school and in our school community. And so we hope that what you hear tonight is a real commitment to understand what the needs are for our students, both in reacclimating to what it's going to be like to summer school, mitigating losses that we're all concerned about, social, emotional, and academic concerns for sure. And so we tried to have a very thoughtful approach around what we would like to construct and offer our families, and particularly our students this summer. And so as Ms. Carr and Mr. Roner began to describe these summer activities, we hope that from what we are offering locally, you'll see that there is a real commitment to really understanding the needs that our students are going to face as they transition back to school full time, to the offerings that are at the county level, really giving some opportunities in terms of credit courses and things of that nature. But hopefully we are starting and using this summer, hopefully in a very strategic way, to support all of our learners and preparing for some fun things over the summer, and also as they transition back to school. So with that, I just want to say again, thank you so much for this year. Thank you so much for all the ways that you've contributed to the well-being of our students. And I am looking forward to the summer and what's next. But most important, I'm looking forward to seeing our seniors graduate in a couple weeks here, and just celebrating all of their accomplishments. And so I will turn it over to Mr. Raymond, and congratulations, Brian, for another 2 years. That is awesome. So with that, I hope you all have a great evening. We hope that all of the information you'll have tonight is very informative, and you take us up on sending those little darlings back to school at some point this summer, so we can get to know them and give them some quality programs. Brian?
Thank you. So before we get started with our topic for the evening, I did want to let you know that for next year, next school year, we're talking about a hybrid approach for our meetings. So of course, we don't know if we're going to be able to have in-person meetings, but we're hoping we will. And so we expect that some of our meetings during the year will be in person, and other meetings we were talking about keeping virtual. Because we know that it's much easier to make a virtual meeting than it is to make an in-person meeting. But at the beginning of the year, during December, when we have our alumni panel, and for this meeting at the end of the year, we want to be in person, and then we think that the virtual meetings will work really well for the other meetings, and we can bring in speakers from all over, which is really exciting. So we really found great attendance for a lot of our meetings over the course of the year, and we feel that it's easier to be engaged with the community with the virtual meetings. And I think we learned that also with the virtual coffee chats as well. There was very good attendance for those as well. So we're going to take a hybrid approach. We do have equipment to be able to live stream all of our meetings. So even if folks are not able to attend in person, we'll live stream them, and it'll still be virtual. So that way you all can choose if you want to be in person or not. With that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Roner.
Thank you. And I just want to introduce myself before I turn it over to Ms. Carr. Second, I want to just say I am the one of the assistant principals. Like Ms. Bolden said, I am no longer the new guy, so I am very excited about that. And I never felt like the new guy either at Wooten. I always felt part of the team and also with the community. But we're going to switch over a little bit. We're going to have Ms. Carr present first, and then I'm going to come back and go over MCPS courses, where to find them, go over some information, and then talk about our local school program. But first, I'm going to turn it right back over to Ms. Carr, and I'm going to go ahead, Ms. Carr.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see everybody this evening. Thank you for joining us. I am Kathleen Carr. I'm your College Career Information Coordinator for the Wooten community. And we have been working diligently throughout the county, trying to put together the best selection of workshops that we possibly can put together for our students this summer. Now, our workshops are primarily geared towards rising seniors and parents, and some will also be geared towards juniors. So what I'm going to start off by telling you is that we're doing 3 separate types of workshops this summer. And there will be district-wide workshops, there will be cluster workshops, and Wooten only workshops. And the district-wide workshops will take place throughout July and August. Cluster workshops are where Wooten has teamed up with Churchill, Quince Orchard, and Richard Montgomery, will be presented the weeks of July 12th and August 17th. And then just the Wooten only workshops are scheduled for the week of July 19th and August 9th. Next slide, please. So as I've mentioned, we have joined forces throughout the county, and we are trying to bring the best selection of workshops possible to you. So I'm going to start off by discussing a little of what the district-wide summer workshops will look like and when they will begin. We are going to be kicking off district-wide workshops on June 28th with PSAT, SAT, ACT testing strategies. By the way, all of our workshops are going to be held virtually. And throughout July, again, some of the district-wide workshops will also be kicked off the first week of July, actually, pardon me, July 7th, will be a UMD presentation. Ryan Clear, who is our Wooten admissions representative for UMD, who I work very closely with, and many of the other people in my position throughout the county do too. But he will be starting off everything into giving you an information session on what programs UMD will be offering to include honors programs, special programs, and what have you. And then I am not going to walk through every single one of these workshops, but this is posted. And as you see in the slide, this is linked under the word here. And every workshop that we are going to have, district-wide, cluster-wide, or Wooten-only workshops, will be posted in several places. They'll be posted on the main Wooten website. They'll be posted on the Wooten Counseling website. They will also be posted on the Wooten College and Career Center website. And I will also be sending out an email with the workshop schedule linked to it through Naviance. And again, our workshops are primarily, the Wooten workshops are geared primarily towards rising seniors and their parents. However, there will be some opportunities for juniors also to join the workshops. So from there, we're going to go to the cluster workshops, and our cluster workshops, as mentioned earlier, will be held the week of July, I'm sorry, we changed this around a bit, the 12th, pardon me. And again, the week of August the 17th. And again, we will be doing an information session with UMD, and that's going to kick off our workshops, our cluster workshops, on Thursday, June 24th, and that will be at 11 a.m. Now, our final workshop schedules will be updated throughout the summer, and we're hoping we're going to have even more people in. And as we update them, they will automatically update in all of the places in which they're posted. So the next slide will just be talking to you about specifically the Wooten-only virtual workshops. And actually, I pretty much have all of July's scheduled. We have decided to present our workshops the week of July 19th through July 22nd. And then again, we will be doing August workshops, August 9th through August 12th. And I'm actually going to run through the schedule very quickly. We're going to be kicking off our Wooten only virtual workshops on July 19th with Finding the Right College Fit. And that will be held from 10 a.m. to 11. We will then move on to Managing the College Application Process, the Common App and Coalition Overview, Writing the College Essay, which is a very good workshop, and most juniors, in fact, I think all juniors will be doing a draft copy of their college essays the first week of June, I believe, in their English classes. But these workshops go in depth about how to, what are schools looking for in a college essay? How do you find the right college fit? How do you keep your sanity and manage the college application process? And I mean that from a parent's perspective as well as a student's perspective. We will also be doing a workshop on writing the college resume and interview skills, as well as what goes into one's college search process and financial aid. And those are basically our week of July workshops. I think we have about 14 workshops set up right now for Wooten only. We have about 20 district-wide workshops, and we have about 12 cluster workshops at this point in time. And these, again, we may add to them. Just keep your eyes open. If we do add to them, we will send out a little something in Naviance letting you know. But I really just wanted you to be aware of the fact that we really are working to finding and helping students and their parents go through this very challenging time. And one of the reasons parents tend to ask me why the juniors haven't been really able to attend workshops. And quite honestly, the college application process is entirely different, and it has been since COVID began. And it may very well change for the class of 2023. So the information that's very relevant for our rising seniors will not be relevant for the juniors. And you don't want to fall back on the idea that, oh my gosh, I thought I was supposed to do it this way, and it turns out it's going to be this way. But I would also like to invite you all to feel free to send me an email on any other topics that you would like to have covered. And we will do what we can to either cover them in the Wooten only workshops, in our cluster workshops, or in our district-wide workshops. So that as you see here, my August workshops are also going to be kicking off on August the 9th with the Common App and Coalition App. And we decided to do August 9th because the Common App is going to be opening up on August 1st. So that is probably the best time frame in which to do this. But thank you very much. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you might have. And please keep your eyes peeled for the upcoming workshop schedules that we have. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. As you can see, we have a lot to offer, and that's just the workshops put on for Wooten and the cluster. And we also have, we're about to go over a lot of information about MCPS, summer school and local school. Let me just first out by saying that it used to be called regional school over the summer. Regional school was a school that was a few schools in the county. This summer, they have really started a new name, and it's called Central High School. So when you hear Central High School, this is not a brand new school. It is the virtual school they're using for this summer. And a lot of information out there refers to Central High School, and a lot of us keep calling it regional school because that's what we're just used to calling it. So it is called Central. But I'm gonna kind of walk you through. We posted something on our website that I'm gonna share with you that kind of shows you the kind of difference between like a local school and what they're offering in the county. Let me just say that everything is free. Credit courses are free. All of the courses we're offering at our school are free. There's no fee. And that is a universal across both programs. But let me share my screen, and I'm going to just start out by just going to Wooten's website. And this is the best place to just go to for the summer and the MCPS information. And if you scroll down here under announcements, you'll come across one that used to be at the top. Now it's a couple down. Summer Institute at Wooten High School, and then also the virtual summer school. And you click on that, it will give you a little blurb about what's being offered. But the most important here is to click here for this information. And when this comes up, it really kind of explains the difference, or gives you information about the difference of there. So at our school, local school program, we are giving parents and students the option if they want virtual or in person for almost every single class. And I'm going to go over all the classes just very briefly. There are a few exceptions that we said, you know what, we need some of these classes to be virtual, in person only. So how do you register? We have our registration form, which is a Google form. I am getting reports. Usually when you register, it should send you an email back saying this is what you signed up for. Either way, when it closes on June 4th, which I'll get to, we will email all individuals who have signed up. Central High School, this is the summer school for only virtual classes. They are not offering virtual classes, but there are in-person supports at certain schools that they have identified. When you go here, you go to Parent View. And what we did this morning, we put on the directions of here's how to register through the Parent View. So Parent View, you're registering for the Central High School classes. For our courses, you are registering through the Google form that's here. The registration dates are identical, but there are rumors that MCPS might extend their registration date a little longer. And we will, we'll discuss that or update this if we extend ours as well. Right now, it's been great. We have almost 400 entries into our local school program, so that's already exciting. Course dates, you will see we are also running the same time period that they are. And then again, I will go over this brochure in a minute. For Central High School, see, I almost called it regional. Central High School, the virtual only, they're really giving most courses two options, like a morning or an afternoon, which I saw. One was like, I think 8 to 9, and another one was 1 to 2 in the afternoon that you could pick. The Central High School is offering a lot of 4-credit courses in almost every content. There are a few restrictions, and they're similar to throughout the year. So for example, health, it has to be a rising 10th grader that goes into health. Like last year, some parents were able to register their rising 9th grader for health, and then the week before they got kicked out of it. So just make you aware, they do double check that stuff. They double check what grade you're in, so be aware of that. Both the local school and local schools are really offering a lot of non-credit courses, where the Central High School is offering really credit bearing. And again, no fees. And then if you have any questions for local school, and if you have any questions for the Central High School, you can always contact the counselor. You can definitely contact me, and I can point you to the right direction. You also, I have a partner that does organizes the Summer Institute with me. That's Mrs. Rice. You can email her. But please, I've already received a lot of emails, great questions, and it's helped us too to tweak a couple things that might have been confusing on our part. So again, this is on the Wooten website. You can see that difference, and this will kind of take you to where you need to go. Here, this click right here actually takes you to the MCPS, and it shows you every single course that they're offering. But tonight, I'm going to kind of walk through our brochure. To just give you, and again, I'm not going to read all of this. I'm not going to go through all of this. I just wanted to kind of go over some of our thoughts of what courses we're going to be offering, both credit and elective. And I see this is taking a minute to load. Here we go. Again, this is accessible to anyone. It's open to anyone to look at. The registration, again, began on May 3rd, and it's open till June 4th. Again, 2 options for the majority of the classes are in-person and virtual. We are going to kind of use the same learning environment we're doing right now when we have students in person and virtual. Some questions have been, can I change my mind? Can I switch back and forth? The one thing we'll say is that the county's asking us to finalize our registration numbers around June 4th. And once we have those numbers, we'll be able to answer some of those questions about changing virtual to in-person at that time. Right now, there is no confirmation unless the Google form sends it back to you saying this is what I signed up for. Some parents have emailed me and say, hey, I signed up. I just want to make sure I signed up for the correct dates, and that's fine too. Again, we will communicate after June 4th. We will get an email saying, you're in this class, we're running this class, we have enough students for this class. Or we might have to send out emails saying, okay, this week didn't work out and we are going to have to move it to this week. Are you still available and interested in that? And we will start communicating that after June 4th. Here's our timeframes. We were trying to keep our timeframes in the morning for credit classes. And then we really tried to be careful what courses we were offering as electives so that if a student was taking a credit class, they would still have an options for some of the elective classes as well. It wasn't perfect, but we did try to kind of give that balance so that you could do both if you want to. And then we have multiple blocks and multiple weeks that these timeframes are available. And then I'm going to go over quickly what the we're offering 3 credit classes. One is one that we've always offered, as far as I'm aware, in Summer Institute, is the Honors Health. That is also being offered in Central High School, but we're offering this as well. This has been very popular. We have over 100 and some students that have signed up so far for this. And it definitely, this seems to run every year with no issues. The next course is Honors Geometry. This is really for those rising 9th and 10th graders. And so if you're trying to move on to Honors Algebra 2 next year and you wanted to take Honors Geometry over the summer, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. This course is going to be taught by one of our teachers. If that is a course that's interested to you and your student. And then the last one is a Physical Science B. It's only a half credit. It is offered both sessions. This is really specifically geared for students that are about to take honors chemistry instead of the biology route. And it's definitely something we want to see for students that are taking honors chemistry and an honors biology both next year. We would like them to take this to get really prepared for those concepts that they're going to see with both contents. So again, those are really the classes that we're offering for credit. And then we move on to a lot of non-credit enrichment classes. The first one we're doing is a traditional Jumpstart class that we offered last year, virtual. This is one of those classes that we have found that because it's geared to getting to know the staff and getting to know the building and your way around, and this is for rising 9th graders, this will be in person only. This is one of the few classes that we've said that this benefit is for in person only, so that we can actually give tours around the buildings and really get to know the staff that are in the building over the summer. And because of this year has been just a unique year, and obviously in so many ways, we're offering a jump start to the 10th graders too. So those were 9th graders. Those are 9th graders this year with the same idea. We got a lot of students that kept virtual throughout this year. And we wanted to make sure we offered them the same kind of exposure moving on. So again, this is offered to both our rising 9th and 10th graders. We have a couple essay courses similar to the workshop. These are just extended time so we can really dive in. The first one is really just talking about, geared towards rising 9th graders about really step-by-step process of writing an essay in high school. and getting used to that format. The college essay application essay is really geared for the rising 12th graders. This is a longer extension taught by our English teacher, and they'll dive into multiple ways of preparing to write those essays. We also have really an intro to AP social studies. That's what the course is in general called. It is for students who are going to be taking an AP class for the first time. And really the first time they get to do that is through social studies. And if they're doing it either with AP NSL or as a 10th grader and taking AP US history for the first time, or if they're new to taking AP classes in general, this is the course to help them kind of gear to what things they are going to be expected and some of those skills you're going to need to get a jump start on it. We have Spanish 2 and 3. I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. These are reviews. So these are for students who took Spanish 2 and took Spanish 3 this year that want to kind of move on, get a little more review in preparation for their next level. These are actually 3-week courses. These are a little longer, taught by some of our teachers to really kind of hone into whatever area that the student might think that they need a little strengthening in, and also for the teacher's perspective to kind of review in that preparation. So these are kind of review courses. And then music, this is great. So we've had a lot of interest in this as well. There's a lot of music opportunities for students. This is another course that we said, this really needs to be in person over the summer. So this is the only class besides those jump starts that we said only in person. The rest of them you have options for. A lot of different things here that they focus on. So you can sign up for some of them, all of them, and they're open to all grades there. And then we move on to some of our math prep classes. These are classes that are designed to get started. So if you are moving on to geometry next year and you want to get a head start or preparation for that, that's what geometry prep is for. Algebra 1 prep, algebra 2 prep, pre-cal prep. Again, those are for classes that you're signed up for next year that you want to get an early start. Again, taught by our teachers that are going to kind of help kind of review some of those things that you learned this year, but also get you ready for next year. And then we have a lot of science courses we're offering. Intro to biology is kind of getting a head start for students who are enrolling in honors and on-level biology. So this is like a kind of getting you ready for that class. And then this is a really fun class. We didn't really get to do, teachers did labs, but labs were done by the teacher in front, and the kids somewhat really didn't get to participate in those. I mean, I remember the first time I dissected a worm and a frog. I don't know what else, maybe even I don't know if I did a cat. I mean, that might have been a high school here. I shouldn't talk about that. Anyway, this is for students that missed all the dissection and really want to jump in there and be able to do some of that. So that's another interesting course that we're offering that we're hoping students are interested in. And then also chemistry recovery for any students that may have not gotten their credit for one or both of those semesters. We're offering this credit recovery for them. And we also have a couple bridge to an AP science classes. So this one's bridge to AP chemistry. Again, these are for students who enrolled in AP chemistry, and this will kind of help them and support them. So we have the bridge to AP chemistry, the bridge to AP physics, and those two will help those students who are going down that path for those two science classes. And then the last classes we're offering are really SAT prep. And we have two focuses. We have the focus on the reading, writing. If that's just the one part you want to sign up for, you could sign up for that. And then we also have the SAT, ACT prep for math as well. So you could sign up for both, or you can sign up for one of them, whatever you feel would be best for you and your student. So I realize I went through a lot of information about these courses. This right here at the end of our slide gives you an overall picture of when all these courses are, because there's so many dates that we're throwing at you. So this will kind of give you really a list form of when all these courses are offered and what weeks. Once again, these are all on our website when you can go there and take a look. So I've done a lot of talking, and back when I was a teacher, I would pause a lot of times before that to check understanding, but I'm seeing the chat roll. Ms. Bolden, is there anything that maybe I didn't clarify, or some questions that are kind of energy around that we want to answer?
Yeah, I think I just saw the one question about, and you answered it, about in-person opportunities in terms of which ones are in person versus virtual. And so I think you answered that question in terms of how we're making those determinations. And absolutely that we understand our rising 9th and 10th grade students may not know where the cafeteria is or the main office and other places. So that is another reason why we're insisting some of those jump starts are in classes or in person as well. And just to reiterate again that all of these classes are free. And really, again, our focus has been to ensure that we are offering a variety of courses that will interest our students, pique their interest, and also provide them with a jumpstart overall when they're thinking about what they're moving into for next year. And so I don't see any other questions, but please feel free to unmic or put your question in the chat, and we're happy to answer it.
I have a question about the workshop. Are those need to be register too? The workshop.
You mean the for the rising 12th grade workshops?
Yes, yes.
Yes. When Ms. Carr sends out information, she does send out a Google Sheet to register for those workshops. And so she's really great at using Naviance and pushing all of the information out and to register for each of the ones that you'd like to sign up for. I believe there are some opportunities that you will not have to register for, but because of space and making sure that there is that there are enough people to help, like for example, with the essays, some of them will require a registration, but she will push all of that information out closer to the workshop so that students and families have an opportunity to register.
But for the information we have right now, are those on the Wooten website?
She is finalizing them now, and she will have them up probably in the next couple of weeks to begin to register for those.
Can at least whatever covered tonight, can it send up? Because I need to plan for the college visit after the school is over. So I don't know if I should do it between when school is over and then beginning of the July, or after the workshop is done and then done end of the July. So if I have the information, then I can plan my accordingly.
Makes perfect sense. Yes, we will put up our dates and tentative dates in all of the workshops that we have confirmed, so you can make your summer plans. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I don't know, Mr. Runner, I think you've done such a great job. There really aren't that many questions about all of our offerings.
I'm sorry, I have a question about the Central High School. He didn't talk about those classes. What's kind of the difference between the two? Is it just that the Central offers more classes, or if it's the same class at Wooten and the Central High?
Yeah, and thank you for saying Central High School there, because that just reminds me to make sure I say it. So yes, they are just offering a lot more.
That's okay. I'm a new parent for
Yeah,
you
okay.
guys. So, okay.
They are offering a lot more courses. They are offering multiple math courses, English courses, social studies courses. They have career courses that you could take. Our credit courses, the difference would be though, like for example, the health is being offered by Central High School and by us. The difference is they are virtual only. We are offering experience for in person, and it's taught here at the Wooten. So when you're going through Central High School, it's just a course. It could be taught by anyone in the county, but they are the same curriculums. It's not like we are teaching something that's different. They're all the same. It's just that we've been traditionally offering this year after year, and there's an interest to take it through Wooten. So that's really the difference. And again, they have like such a long list of courses that are being offered. There's just a lot of options. A lot of parents have communicated they've opted to take a course through Central High School and then also take a course with us, which is perfectly fine too, as long as those times, don't conflict and your student can handle a very condensed course. I just want to remind everyone, these courses are 3 weeks from a traditional 9-week course being taught really not every day. There's some asynchronous, there's some synchronous learning to it. So, I just want us to be aware of what the format is and how to support your student and making sure they're not getting overwhelmed in the summer either, because it's going to be a good year, a fun year when we all get back in the building in August, hopefully. Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Runner, there's a question about when parents will find out if their child is confirmed for summer school. So can you speak to both our program and Central Summer School? Did I get that right? Central High School.
Yeah, so the Central High Schools are sending notification right through your parent view account. So you should be getting communication from them directly. From ours, because ours is a Google form, you should get the information that you signed up for back to you. But we, again, at the end of June 4th, we are going to start sending emails out to parents and those who signed up saying, okay, you are confirmed, we're running this course. It's this week that you requested, and you'll get more information from the teacher as we get closer. If there are courses that we have to adjust because we didn't have enough for that week, but we had enough to combine them, you would get an email saying, okay, we have to adjust this week. Are you still interested, even though it might be changed? So once the registration is closed on June 4th, we will start sending those confirmation emails out and letting you know this is the teacher of the course and that they would be contacting you directly.
All right, Mr. Runner, there was a question. There is just a comment about noting interest in adding another time slot from 10:30 to 11:45. And so we've noted that. Are there any other questions?
I kind of like a silly question. Are those workshops all for students? Is anything for parents for the college process workshop? Are those any for parents?
Great question. Yes, Ms. Carr is planning for some of the workshops that also include parents. I believe there's one on financial aid. And if you contact Ms. Carr, she will be able to give you the specific workshops that are available for parents. And if you have an interest in a particular topic, she can also help you navigate which one would be the best one to attend.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I did see a question there. How do we double check that we're registered? Definitely shoot me an email if you never got a response back from completing your Google form. A lot of parents have done that, and I'll write back, yes, I have you as requesting this date. So please do that. With Central High School, it's a little different. You can email me too if you're asking for both. Yeah, but that really has to go through Central High School contacts, but we can point you in the right direction.
And if you need any support with registering your student using Synergy and Parent View, then please reach out to the counselors and they can help troubleshoot that as well. So if you reach out to your student's counselor, they can also help with that interface if there's anything with the Central High School registration that you're finding a little bit tricky or you have questions about.
So I think, Ms. Bolden, everyone right now is registering right now for courses. That's why there's not many questions there, or they have already, both of them. They're just sitting there seeing what's being offered.
I want to enroll in the steel drums class. I may have to do that one.
I was thinking about the Jumpstart for myself since I am now a veteran person here, but it would be great to jump into that.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Mr. Roner, and thank you all for your time tonight. We look forward to seeing your students in all of these workshops and classes. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're excited about what we're offering and seeing our students over the summer as well. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. Raven.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that presentation, and you were very thorough. It sounds like you answered all the questions. Thank you all for joining tonight. Thank you all for a great year. I hope you have a great summer, and we look forward to seeing you in September. So have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for hosting.
Thank you. You also.